Thanks for coming on the virtual chicken coop field trip. People submitted a lot of great questions. My dad is going to help me answer them.
Okay. So first there were a lot of compliments, like Ethan's compliment. He said, I don't have a question, I just wanted to tell you great job and I wish I had chickens. Thank you, Ethan. And Talia said, I like the video, I like learning about eggs. Thanks for making the video, I don't have any questions. But she also said that it's cool that each chicken lays an egg that's a different color. And actually a lot of you had egg related questions. So we're going to go over all the egg and chick related questions first. Julian asked, what do you do with the egg?
We eat the eggs.
We eat the egg. How do we prepare the eggs?
Sometimes you can scramble an egg. I mean, there's lots of ways to cook an egg, but I'm sure you can look at great cooking videos.
Are all of the chickens girls, and if so, do they make chicks? There were a couple of questions about if chicks hatch.
And chicks don't hatch.
Yeah, so
there's no rooster.
There's no rooster. Without a rooster, the eggs aren't able to hatch. You need a rooster to fertilize the egg. Otherwise, the eggs are just something that the chickens produce, but no chick will come out of them. That was Amila asked that. Did any of them make chicks? And Luca also said, did a chicken ever lay a chick? Joe says, why do the different chicken breeds lay different colored eggs? So the answer is genetics. Just like I have curly hair and Maple got those genes from me and she has curly hair, the parents of these chickens and like chickens of the same breed all lay that color egg. So it's just genetics and kind of how those chickens work. Lachlan's mom asked, why is it okay to leave eggs unrefrigerated when store-bought eggs have to be kept refrigerated? In other countries, when you go to the supermarket in the egg section, in many other countries, the egg section also isn't refrigerated. In the US, the eggs are refrigerated. The reason is because in the US, commercial eggs are washed before they're sent to the supermarket to get bacteria off the surface of them. But in the process of washing them, they remove a natural protective layer, so those eggs can actually start rotting more quickly. They need to be refrigerated to prevent them from rotting after they get that wash. Luca asked, how many eggs can a chicken lay a year?
250.
Tassine asked, why you put the old eggs on the bottom and the new eggs on the top? The reason is because we don't want to let any of the eggs get rotten. So, if you had some very fresh apples and some apples that might go bad in a day or two, you might eat the old apples first. That way they don't go rotten and you have more time to eat the new apples. It's the same with eggs. We just want to eat the older ones first so that they don't go bad. But if we're in the mood for super fresh eggs, we'll eat the freshest ones first. And Emily asked, do you check any of the eggs to make sure it's okay to eat?
Yes, we have a strategy, and I'll tell you that strategy right now. We normally will fill up like a Tupperware container with water, and if the eggs at all try to stand or float to the top, then we know that they're rotten, and if they sink to the bottom, then they're fine eggs. I don't know why that is, so don't ask me about it.
Now we're going to go on to chicken delivery related questions. How did we get the chickens? So Talha asked, where do you get the chickens? And Abira asked, where did the chickens come from? And Yaretsi asked, who gave you the box with the chickens? And Dante asked, how did you get the chicks? So we ordered the chickens online, and we ordered the chicks as 1 day old chicks online.
So they arrived in the mail.
I picked them up from the post office.
And you rated them 5 stars.
And I gave the post office 5 stars on Yelp because they did a good job helping us out. Megan asked, how much does it cost to buy a baby chick? So this website, mypetchicken.com, you can order chickens of different breeds through the mail. The chicks other than Lisa cost $3. Lisa, because she's fancier and lays blue eggs, she cost $18. But the shipping is what's expensive because the chicks themselves aren't that expensive. But shipping a chicken in the mail costs more money because it has to stay warm, it has to be treated extra carefully. The box has holes in it, it can't go on like the bottom of a bunch of packages. So the shipping of chickens costs $37. Okay, now we're going to do coop related questions. Charlotte asked, what is a coop? That's a very good question. That thing behind us is the coop. It's where they live. It has a hen house in it and a run in it. Those are the main two sections. The hen house is where they sleep and where they lay eggs, and the run is the area down below where they can scratch and peck, and there's perches they can jump on. The point of the coop is to protect the chickens. Grayson asked, how did you make the chicken coop? So I'd never done any construction related stuff before, but I bought instructions online from a website called, I think, thegardencoop.com, and followed those instructions, and it showed me from beginning to end how to make a coop.
And that's, we have this gorgeous coop up there.
Harry asks, how do you block animals going underground to steal the chickens' food? And I don't see a lock on the door. How do they lock it? I think for that we should go closer to the coop to see those things.
Okay, so we'll take you closer to the coop. Here we go.
As far as the animals digging underground, this hardware cloth goes a foot underground. So even if an animal was to start digging over here, they'll just reach more of this stuff, and they can't dig through that. That's metal. And now the locks.
So, just like we were saying in the other video, raccoon could get through this if it's not locked. So, this is the lock, and you just bring it up, and then you turn it down.
Okay, you want to show them the egg door lock too?
Yeah.
The egg door also has a lock that works the same way.
Oh, sorry, I was having a lot of trouble. No one's in there right now, but
Okay. And Storm asked, do chickens stay outside in the winter?
yes, they're totally fine staying outside in the winter.
Yeah.
Actually, they stay here outside all the winter long, which is amazing. I can't do that.
The only thing we need to worry about is making sure their water doesn't freeze, but otherwise they're totally fine out here in the winter.
Which is awesome.
Okay, now chicken food related questions. Emma asked, when you feed the chickens, are the worms dead or alive?
We actually feed them dead. They're dried up. So, dry is another word for dead. They're dead.
Bianca asked, how much do chickens eat? So chickens eat 1.5 pounds of food per chicken per week. So one bag of food, actually let's show you what one bag of food looks like. So this is a 25-pound bag of food, and if
It's really
each chicken
large.
needs 1.5 pounds of food per week, this bag will feed all 3 chickens for about 5 weeks. So in a year, we need to buy about 10 of these big bags to keep all of the chickens fed. So Megan had another part to her question, which is how much does it cost to keep/feed a chicken per year? So that bag of food costs about $36, and if we buy 10 of those bags of food in a year, then it costs about $360 a year to feed all 3 chickens. But there's lots of other costs involved, like related to, just time, and for building the coop, all the costs for materials and the treats, and if they need to go to the vet, or they need medicine.
Yeah.
Okay, roosters. Mason asked, Why are roosters not allowed in Brooklyn? And Izzy asked, how come roosters are not allowed in New York? Well, the reason is because roosters, as they get older, can be very loud and annoying. So they'll start crowing as soon as the sun rises. They can wake up your neighbors, and that might not be the most neighborly thing to do.
Guess what? I'm a rooster. I wake up early in the morning.
You're different. You're allowed in New York. Roosters can also be aggressive. They can kind of be a little bit more pecky and like a little protective of their hens. One rooster needs 10 hens in his flock with him in order to be like a happy rooster. So if a rooster has less than 10 eggs, they'll be extra cranky.
What do you mean 10 eggs?
If a rooster has less than 10 hens, it'll be a little cranky and aggressive. Next section is health. Logan asked, how long is a chicken's lifespan? And Mutasim asked, how long do chickens live? And the answer is
5 to 10 years.
Yeah. And that whole time they're not going to lay eggs as consistently as they do when they're younger. So at like 3 years the egg production slows down, but they'll keep laying eggs every once in a while for as long as they're alive. How do chickens get bird lice? We're not sure how Waffle got bird lice. Maybe there was like a sparrow that had bird lice and Waffle caught it from the sparrow when she was pecking out here. But bird lice can't get transmitted to a human, so it's a bird specific type of lice. It's not the same as head lice that you guys have at school every once in a while.
Yeah, but that's a very good question, and I hope I knew I wish I knew the answer to that, but I just don't.
Connor asked, how do you know if the chickens are sick?
And the answer to that is just like the way your parents or anyone's parents would know if they're sick is just they start reacting weirdly.
They start behaving differently.
Yeah.
So maybe a chicken stops laying eggs for no reason. Maybe it's acting a little bit tired. Maybe it's like pecking its feathers a lot or breathing heavily. Just any unusual behavior that you don't normally see.
Yeah.
Lily says, what do you do to keep the chickens from flying away? Nothing. Chickens are very heavy and not good at flying. We've only really had to worry about them flying away when they were younger. Now I think it would be too difficult for them to fly over that fence. There was one time that Waffle, when she was younger, got to the top of that fence and we were a little worried she was going to go to the neighbor's yard. But now they're so big, they can fly to their perch, but they're not really good at flying. Some farms do a thing where they clip the wings, which is where they just kind of give the wings on one side of the chicken a snip, which makes them kind of get extra wobbly when they try to fly to keep them from flying away, but we haven't done that. We just know that they're not good at flying and that they have everything they need and they're really not going to try to get out of here.
Because they love us.
William asked, are there any other predators other than raccoons and hawks? There's a lot.
Fox, bears, dogs.
We have friends in New Jersey who have chickens, and a fox got into the coop and ate their chickens. Yeah, but even our dog is very friendly, but other dogs might not be so friendly. Chickens need humans to survive. They're domesticated animals. They're not wild animals. They need humans' help to survive. A chicken in the wild wouldn't do very well.
We almost work as a team with us and our chickens, because if you think about it, we give the chickens care and the chickens give us delicious eggs.
And Zoe asked, what is a chicken's natural habitat? And if I was interested in getting a chicken for a pet, would my cat eat it? So, because they're domesticated, their natural habitat is with people. They wouldn't survive on their own. So I would say maybe a farm is their natural habitat, but chickens their ancestors are a type of bird called jungle fowl, who live in the trees in rainforests in Southeast Asia. The ancestors of chickens' habitat is the rainforest. Jungle fowl looked very similar to chickens, but they're very different. They fly much better, they can survive in the wild, stuff like that. And would your cat eat the chicken?
No.
Maybe.
I mean, I can't tell you. I mean...
Is your cat friendly? Your cat might... Maybe when the chickens are chicks? Maybe?
Maybe.
It's possible.
It's possible. We're not sure.
Okay. Thank you all for coming on the virtual chicken coop field trip and asking such great questions. And we hope you learned something.
Let me tell you a secret. Your questions are awesome.